Hey, this is Carl, and welcome to another list. It's not a top 10 list, but it's going to be a list of my addiction, which is statue collecting. So stay tuned. So in today's video, I'm going to share all my current pre-orders to you guys. So I think this will be like a follow-up video to my statue tour collection. If you haven't watched that video, you can click here to watch that. So I have grouped up my pre-orders into lines or groups or whatever. It might not be the actual way I'm going to display them, but I just want to group them similar to whichever character that I'm talking about. So first on the list is my Asgardian line. So I have this Lady Loki on pre-order. No, this is not Sylvie from the Loki TV show. This is an actual Lady Loki from the comics. I don't know where that info came from, but I've read it from a comment on YouTube. Anyway, although the studio decided to add the Sylvie portrait later on, not that it's important, but I just pre-ordered this because honestly, the render looks pretty good. Plus, it's still a museum type statue in my opinion, even though Fenrir is on the base, but I think it will blend well with the rest of my Asgardian collection. Moving on, I have this Lady Thor on pre-order. Yeah, it's not really a museum type statue as this is very dynamic in my opinion. And it even comes with a very big base as you can see. But it's the Lady Thor or Mighty Thor that I like. So here it is. And finally, I have Thor on pre-order. Finally, I was able to pre-order a Thor statue. And in my opinion, this is simply the best one yet, custom or license. I don't know, there's just something about the statue that makes it really good. Maybe the Captain Morgan pose. Kidding aside, I think this Thor will be very hard to beat. So in case you're wondering where my Hela and Odin pre-order is, I canceled them both. I filed claim on PayPal and got my money back. The reason is the commissioner just feels fishy and shady with all the Solyu conspiracy going around. So just to be on the safe side, I filed claim because commissioner isn't responding already for me for I think 2 months already. I'll still buy the statue if it's ready to ship though. Hopefully he will still sell it to me if he's still around by then. But I'm never gonna pre-order anything from him ever again. So next is my Avengers line with the Ultron Sentry. First is you have this Black Panther, easily one of the best one around for sure, in my opinion anyway. But I do think the Franco one is a good competitor on this one, but the base on that one is just not for me. Anyway, so this isn't technically an Ultron Sentry base, but it kinda matches the color a bit. And I'm hoping I just can print out Ultron heads and put it randomly on the base. I mean, it's not necessarily be the head, maybe just random parts. Next is we have an Incredible Hulk. I really hate Hulk pre-orders as they are quite big and takes a lot of space. But I needed a Hulk for my Avengers collection. Now, this isn't an Ultron Sentry base again. And again, I'm hoping I can just 3D print some Ultron parts and put it there randomly. But I really love the sculpt on this Hulk as it is sculpted by Alejandro Pereira. Plus, I think it doesn't actually need a lot of space to display, hopefully. Last on my Avengers pre-order is actually a custom Hulkbuster. Now, the base is actually really different on this one because it's not the usual metallic platform thing. But there's an Ultron Sentry part on the base, which is perfect for my collection. Now, all there's left is for me to buy is the XM Classic Iron Man, the one where he's holding an Ultron and not the flag. Although this one has its own Iron Man, but I won't display them together. I'll probably obviously display them differently. Next is my Arkham Batman villain line. This is a new line I'm collecting, by the way. So Killer Croc is already coming, and maybe in the future I'm thinking of 3D printing a custom Mr. Freeze from Berserk. Anyway, so first is we have this Bane diorama. You don't only get Bane but also Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. So this is based from the Arkham game. So this is kinda an Arkham villain line like I just mentioned. Next is we have Clayface. This is actually a very huge statue, kinda like 1/3 now, but it's still in fact 1/4. Gonna be the best Clayface around for sure, since it's the only Clayface statue around that is 1/4 scale or 1/3 scale. Next is we have Grandy. I honestly don't know anything about this character, but looks pretty good and I just want to complete the line. And I'm really excited to get this line going. And last on the list is we have Man-Bat. I don't think there's any other Man-Bat statue in the market. And if there was, it'll be pretty hard to compete with this one. Technically not an Arkham Batman, but it's from the same studio as the others I mentioned above. And they actually have a King Shark as well. It also not from the Arkham game, so I did not pre-order it. So only Man-Bat is the exception. So I'll just wait for an Arkham King Shark since I do like the armor he has on his mouth. Next are my Dragon Ball pre-orders. First is we have this Goku and Gohan diorama. They are actually fighting Cell here, but I did not buy Cell, just these two Super Saiyans. I'm really excited to get this as it's gonna be my first KD collectible and I think it will be shipping soon too. Next is we have this Majin Vegeta Atomic Blast, also from KDC. I really like everything about this statue, although I'm still looking for the other Majin Vegeta from KDC, or maybe even from Tsume, but this one is also pretty good in my opinion. This is also a set, but I didn't buy Majin Buu. Next is I have this Son Goku Namek from Figure Class. This is the first time Goku transformed to Super Saiyan, so very iconic and memorable to me, hence why I pre-ordered it. And I did miss the one from KDC, so I have to settle for this. Lastly, I have this Gogeta from Last Leap. Nothing much to show except for this concept. I don't think this is the sculpt, but my Goku UI is also from Last Leap. You can check the video here. So I'm expecting this to be just as good since it's from the same studio. Next is my Final Fantasy line. So this is a game from Square Enix. First on the list is from the FF9 game. And this is Freya. I already pre-ordered their Zidane, which is the lead character of the game. And it's actually already shipping too. I miss out on their VV, but I'm hoping they will make a version 2 of that since the OG is already quite expensive. Anyway, looking for Amaranth and Steiner. Next is from the most iconic Final Fantasy game and probably the most iconic villain as well, Sephiroth of FF7. I actually already have a different Sephiroth statue. We could check out the review video here. But Sephiroth is a character that I don't mind owning multiple statues of, kinda like Magneto. And I probably have a different Sephiroth pre-order in the future. Lastly is this Vincent, and he came from the game FF7 as well. He is a secret character actually. This is actually gonna ship maybe in November, which is next month. So really looking forward to that. This is gonna be the best Vincent statue for sure since this is sculpted by Nick Hanzo. So no doubt there is going to be quality here. Next is my Iron Man collection, and most of them are from Queen Studios. Not gonna tackle every single one of these Iron Mans, but I have the Mark 1, Mark 42, Mark 43, Mark 49, and Mark 85 on pre-order from Queen Studios. And I do have the Mark 3 from Sideshow. I already made a review on some of the Queen Studios statues that I have here, namely the Hulkbuster, which you can watch here, and the Mark 7, which you could watch here. I actually don't have the Mark 50 from Queen Studios on pre-order, but I'm looking for it now. It's the only one that I don't have on pre-order because I was afraid of the post because it might lean in the future. Anyway, as for the Sideshow, I only pre-ordered it because it's a very iconic pose from the OG Iron Man from Sideshow and the movie. Will really look nice next to the OG Iron Man since I do have that in my collection. And since most of the lists are from the MCU, might as well just include this Captain America from the Winter Soldier movie here. I just bought this is because it's quite cheap. Plus, I don't have a Captain America MCU statue on the collection. Though I really wanted to buy the one from Iron Studios, but I've read a few bad reviews that made me not want to buy it retail. Maybe half the price. So I'll just wait for a very cheap one available. Next is my Magneto line. Yes, I have a few Magnetos on my collection, as you can see on my collection tour. First is this flying Magneto with his cape floating at the back. This is a 3-year-old pre-order, and the commissioner probably have scammed me already at this point. Some people just don't need to be commissioners. Yeah. Anyway, next is we have this Onslaught. Nothing much to say about this one except that it's gonna be very massive. I think it might actually ship first quarter 2023. I definitely have no space for this guy. Might just do the review and put him back in the box. Next is my Marvel Cosmic line. Next, I have this Galactus on pre-order which has almost to no updates. I have a feeling I'm gonna get scammed on this one, but it is what it is. painter won't even start painting on the prototype for who knows what reason. Next is this Quasar. This is part of my Annihilator line, and I think all there's left to pre-order is Beta Ray Bill. But I don't think I should buy another Beta Ray Bill since I already have one with the Galactus base. But anyway, here's Quasar. Next is just an add-on for the Sideshow Silver Surfer, and it's actually Galactus's hand. You just put the Surfer on top, and it's done. You can actually put other characters too. Lastly, on the comic line is we have Terrax. This guy is a herald of Galactus, and I think he is the very first one. I think the sculpt looks pretty good. He also kinda looks like he is Darkseid, so I pre-ordered it without even thinking. Next is my Spider-Man line. First on the list is we have this Black Iron Spider. I already have the red one, which you could check out the video here. And both of them are actually sculpted by the same sculptor, which is Steven Sanchez. So the black one is something very fresh, hence the pre-order. Next is we have this Cosmic Spider-Man, a very rare version of Spider-Man in my opinion in the hobby, but it's probably the strongest one of them all, and it's gonna be produced by my favorite studio. Next is a museum type Spider-Man. This one has a different anatomy from my existing museum type Spider-Man behind me. And it's from a friend commissioner, so I'll definitely support his work. Next is we have this Miles Morales Spider-Man. Never mind the portrait since its skin tone needs work, but it will definitely be darker in production. But I'm not gonna use that anyway. And I really love this Spider-Man, and I think it's very, very underrated. Next is this retro Spider-Man, trying to collect all versions of Spider-Man, and this was a good entry to join a custom group as well. Really looking forward for the prototype on this. Next is a bundle of Symbiote Spider-Mans. These are just kits and I might actually paint them differently. I actually just wanted one of them and I got scared that I won't get a slot, so I bought the bundle. Next in my symbiote line, this is actually a new line I think I'm collecting. So first on the list is the god of all symbiotes himself, which is Null. This is sculpted by a Filipino, and of course I wanted to support his work. Really love everything about the statue. Thought I might not display him with the BCS switch out since it does come with a lot of switch outs. And I kinda wish that, it kinda has less switch out to make it cheaper. Anyway, it is what it is. Next is we have Toxin. This is gonna be a kit again. I honestly don't know why I pre-ordered it. I got FOMO, fear of missing out. But there's just a few symbiote on the line. Might as well just finish it. And last is this Venomized Wolverine. Well, this actually might not belong on this line since I'm going to display this guy probably next to my other Wolverines. But since he is Venomized, I might as well just include it in the symbiote group. And speaking of Venoms, it's time for my Venom line. First is we have this bundled Venoms. I honestly only wanted one of these guys, the one with the unique eyes. But again, I got fear of missing out and I decided just to get both. So these are gonna be just kits and I'm gonna have to be painted differently again, like the Symbiote Spider-Man bundle. Next is probably the grail of all Venoms, and it's this Wing Venom diorama. This might actually ship this year. I'm hoping that it does. If not, Q1 2023 for sure. Can't say much about the statue as it already speaks for itself. Last on my Venom pre-order is this semi-museum type Venom. I think it's still museum type. Really love the textures on this Venom, make it looks really scary and very monsterish. Not sure if I made the right decision on going with the Tendrils version though. Next is my X-Men line, but not really. Since I collect X-Men villains on random basis and the X-Men themselves on Danger Room basis. Anyway, first is we have this Nightcrawler. Not the best one around for sure, and also might not be the best one on a Danger Room base as well. But it's the only studio that I could trust, hence why I pre-ordered it. The one that scammed me, sorta, of the Magneto statue also has a very, very good Nightcrawler statue. Anyway, this is a pre-order transfer, so I got a pretty good deal. That's why I took it. Lastly, on the X-Men is this Omega Red. Will probably sell my XM Omega Red when this ships, as this one is definitely better in every way, in my opinion. But still gonna keep my XM Sabretooth, since that one is still pretty good. Lastly is the statues I pre-ordered that doesn't belong to any line, or I can't group them here on the list. First is this Shadowlands Daredevil. Fell in love with the black version when they revealed the prototype. They didn't even mention there was gonna be a Shadowlands version, so I pre-ordered it immediately. I also actually have the Sideshow Daredevil premium format, but just the regular coming. Might as well get the classic or yellow costume to complete the set. Last on the list of pre-orders is this Black Superman. I started collecting DC statues with the Queen Studios Wonder Woman, the one with the Gal Gadot portrait. And since that one has a Gal Gadot portrait, might as well get a Superman with a Henry Cavill portrait to pair it with, hence the pre-order. Now I just need a Batman, but I don't need the Ben Affleck portrait for that. Also, I'm actually considering collecting a Batman costume line, kinda like the Spider-Man I have behind me. Let's see how that goes. Oh, and I also have a classic blue-red Superman coming too, and I already have tracking for it. So that's the end of my pre-order list. I think I still have a few that I did not mention here because it's not actually pre-order and I paid for the full amount and it's getting repainted. But I'm going to show them anyway in the review once I get them on hand. So that's it for me. Like and subscribe. This is Carl, and see you in the next one.